Hello, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. You're on the lifeboat. People, you'll notice I'm not in the captain's quarters. You're probably asking yourself why. Here's what it boils down to, people. There are times where I'm going to do videos where, quite simply, I can't do them sitting down, right? There's nothing wrong with sitting down, delivering to you face to face. It's good stuff. But there are times that, simply put, that's not a possibility. This year, that's one of those times. I'll tell you why. People, as you start to move forward and become a new creature, right? You become a sober individual, someone who's living the best life that they possibly can. There are things from the past that we sometimes drag with us unintentionally. Friends, right? Oftentimes we might try to bring friends from the past. Friends we use. We don't want to give up on them, right? You never want to leave a friend behind. There are times you have to. There are also other things that we drag from our past that more than likely we need to leave behind. One of those things, people, that we accidentally drag from our past life is the physiology from that existence. What I mean by that is, people, the way we look, our appearance. Now look, you don't have to go out and buy an entire new wardrobe. I mean, you can, but you don't have to change that way. I'm talking about the trappings, the uniform, right? People, I just came out here and I started talking to you, right? This is Captain Tommy Scoville coming to you live. I'm no longer in the captain's quarters, right? Okay, check this out. Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. You're on the lifeboat, and people were. The reason I'm not in the captain's quarters is because there are times that you need to. I'm going to need to get up, and I'm going to. People, you notice the difference between this, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and this. This is your captain, right? People, when I decided to become a new creature, I changed everything about the old creature. And one of the things was that old creature walked like a dog that didn't beat too much. By the way, any beating of a dog is too much. But you understand what I'm saying? Have you ever seen that look of an animal that has been beat on and they cower? That's how we walk. And why? Because we are beat on. Because we spent our entire lives beating on ourselves. And in doing so, we started to do this. And we started to get the appearance, including that physiological affectation that you get when you live that way. Society then sees us like that, and they start treating us different. They treat us without respect. And you know what I'm talking about, people. Society does not respect the drug addict or the alcoholic. They simply don't. So, as they start to heap scorn upon you, and they start treating you without the respect that you deserve as a human, what else happens? Well, you get beat down a little bit further, right? And you just keep doing this. People, this is more than just an appearance, right? This shrinks the body cavity. Your shoulders roll forward, right? Your abdomen shrinks. We've talked in the past about your lungs. Your lungs start in the abdomen, they go into the chest, and they come up clavicular underneath the collarbones, right? Okay, people, if you shrink like this, how much are you filling up that cavity? How much are you really getting your lungs filled with air? The answer is you're not, right? You're not. And that tidal volume of air that we talk about, the stuff that stays in there to keep your lungs open, that simply doesn't get exchanged for new air. That causes more things to happen in the body, and we become unhealthy. That's the truth, people. We don't breathe correctly in America. We simply don't, because no one's ever taught us how. But if you continue to drag that old you, physiologically beat down old you, two things happen, right? Number one, you're not going to become the best that you can be. You're not going to be healthy, and just as important, people, you're not going to get the respect that you deserve from society. No matter how great you're doing, if you look like you're still the old you, that's how you're going to be treated. I can hear people right now typing, I don't care what people think about me. You should care what people think about you. Now, I don't mean if there's a person out there that says, well, I'm not going to believe the guy's sober anyway. Fine, get rid of that. You don't have to listen to that. But you should feel as if you want individuals to respect you. You should feel as if you want individuals to listen to you. We're human beings. We want to be listened to and we want to be respected. Watch what happens when you become animated. You stand up straight. You start to get oxygen into your body, right? You trade out that tidal volume of stale air for new air. and you start to be healthier, feel healthier. You start walking like this instead of like this. You get that breath in. What happens, people, is now when I talk, I don't talk like this and go, hey man, appreciate you coming by the lifeboat, right? No, I'm animated, people. And there are people that say I talk too loud. Okay, I probably do. But a very unique thing happens when you talk too loud and too fast. You require more air in order to do that. You can't take in a shallow breath and then start to project, right? It just doesn't work. In order to talk the way that I do, you got to take in full lungfuls of air. And you don't have to shout at people. I'm going to, but I'm the captain. You don't have to shout at people, but you do have to sound interested in what you're talking about. I could come out here today, people, and I could talk like this about how April the 15th is going to be the time where we have to file our taxes. If you talk about something and you're excited about it, people will listen to you. On the flip side of that, I can come out here and go, people, the message that I got to give you right now is probably the most important thing I'm ever going to tell you. I'm dead serious. I mean, this is life-changing stuff, and you really need to listen to me. You're not going to. You're simply not going to. You have to be engaging, and when you are, people start to listen to what you have to say. When people start listening to what you have to say, whether they like it or not, they are going to show you what? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller. They're going to show you respect. When society begins to show the new you respect, another thing happens, right? It's the exact opposite of what I was just talking about. You go from here to here, right? Now you really start feeling the part. You begin to feel like your best you. Think I'm kidding? Try it for a day. Try it for one day. How do you bring a message that says that sobriety is the way to live if you look like you hate it? Right? If you look like you hate every day of sobriety, you think people around you are going to go, I want what Tommy's got, right? I want what the captain is talking about. If I come out, people, and I go, hey, what's going on? You know, welcome to the channel. Sit back like this. Welcome to the channel. You know, today we're going to talk about this, and I don't know, man, you know, maybe I'll do something this afternoon. You know, maybe I'll do a live feed. People, I'm excited. I'm living my best life. That's not for you. That's not something I'm saying for the benefit of somebody. I'm living my best life. I'm excited, right? I'm happy to be sober. Hello? And why don't people look happy to be sober? Don't drag the attitude and the physiological effects of that attitude into the new you. For real. When I say make a list of who you were, people, this was my mindset. What do I do every day when I get up? Seriously, what do I do when I get out of bed? All right, this was my life. I get up, I get out of bed, I head over, I start making some coffee. Wrong, okay? That's how I've been doing it. And it didn't work, right? Nothing worked that I did in the past. I didn't become happy. I didn't become respected. I did not become sober. And I sure as hell did not become the Tommy Scoville that I wanted to be. I didn't become the person that was going to end up being the captain of this boat. So I started from scratch. Okay, so I kick the covers off the bed and I get up. Now, did I ever make the bed before? No. Well, then I'm going to start. Why? Because it's important that you have a bed that's made? No, it's not. You live the rest of your life without your bed made. No big deal. It really isn't. But it is for me. Because I am going to do things at every single juncture of the day to remind myself that I'm a new person, I'm a new creature, a new creation, and that new creation is living different. He's living sober. The first shot of that I get is when the alarm goes off in the morning, right? Figuratively speaking, I actually don't need one. But this was in prison, mind you. So I get up in the morning, make the bed, brush the teeth, right? Do you have to brush your teeth first thing in the morning? Absolutely not. You can go out there with your breath stinking. You can go out there and offend people with the olfactory foul funk that you breathe out. I'm not gonna. So, made the bed, brushed the teeth, right? Then I read my Bible. You don't have to. Do whatever you do. But have a spot in the morning where you focus on you. That could be 30 seconds of saying, you know what, today I'm going to attack the day. Look in the mirror. Today's my day. I'm going out there. I'm attacking this. I'm not taking no for an answer when it comes to happiness. I'm not having it. I'm keeping short accounts. People, I did this throughout an entire day. What do I do next? What do I do next? Okay, I got out of prison. Obviously, I'm not in there. So I had to reevaluate. I was happy who I was. By the time I got out of prison, I was very solid being the Tommy that I am right now. However, totally new schedule. Right now, there's different things because I'm out. So how do I start my day? With the sun. That's how I start my day. You don't have to start it that way. But I lost a lot of sunsets, people. Thousands of them. I lost a lot of sunrises. Thousands of them. Literally incarcerated. Unable to go outside and see the majesty of the sun coming over the mountains, or the sun coming up over the horizon, or over the ocean. I'm jealous of Christine Sedman. You should see the view that woman has. If you haven't been over to her channel, check it out, because she takes videos where you see sunrises and sunsets over the water. Breathtaking stuff. Breathtaking stuff. But for me, I'm not missing sunsets, and I'm not missing sunrises. I'm not. I miss too many. So I get up. I still make the bed before I go out there. Why? Because to me, it's a talisman. To me, it's a proclamation. It is the start of the day that says, this is a new guy. The old guy never did this. The new guy is doing this. You understand? So when I have that first cup of coffee, and I still continue to read my Bible, then I start going through my emails. And in the past, I was like, yeah, that's not important. Yeah, that's not, I'll get back to that guy. No, I always did that. I'll get back to him whenever. You don't get back to him, right? You people can tell, right? Everybody here can say, every once in a while, it might take Tommy a couple of days, but he gets back to me, because I get back to everybody. I do. It's important to me. The day is coming where I'm not going to be able to. But until then, I'll be damned if I don't. I'll be damned if I don't. You know why? Because the old guy didn't. The old guy couldn't be counted on. Now, I go to work. The old guy walked in, punched the clock. Damn, dude. Gotta go do this, man. You know, people came up and said, hey, Tommy, how's it going? Living the dream, man. Living the dream. Right? Hating life. I'm living the dream. I'm the same guy there. I promise you. Except I walk in, I punch that time card, and then I'm off to the line. And they come up and go, Tommy, how you doing? Man, I'm living the dream. I am, people. I am. See this? This was the dream. The dream was I was going to change how people viewed drug addicts. I was going to change how the world viewed drug addiction. Now, have I knocked out the entire world yet? Nope, I have not. Doesn't mean I'm not going to keep going. But there are people who view drug addiction differently because of this boat. In the very near future, I'm going to be reading some goodbye letters. If you're hearing this for the first time, please email me your goodbye letter to drugs at Captain Tommy Scoville. You can see it. Click down. You'll see the link to my email. I got one, and you're going to hear it, people. I'm going to read it. But I got one from Andrew, and you know how I feel about Andrew. And he wrote, you're going to see it. It's just an amazing letter. And he did it this fast. He left a comment in the comment section that said, hey, I like the idea of the goodbye letter. This is the first time I've seen it. I'd love to stick around. I got to go write that letter. Man, 10 minutes later, it was in my inbox. And when you hear this, you're not going to think this was something that was written in 10 minutes. He bled this onto the page. And he did it the way I asked him to, right? This was a very personal letter, like he was talking just to you or to me. And I'm reading it and I'm going, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. And it's talking about how alcohol had done this to him and done this to him and done this to him. And then I got down by the bottom and it said, but there was something you didn't take into consideration or you didn't know was going to happen. I found this place called the Lifeboat. I'll tell you what, people. If you can't get excited about what we're doing, stick around and listen to some of these letters. But don't walk through life unhappy and miserable with what you're doing. And you say to me, Tommy, you know what? I'd love to be that excited guy. I'd love to do what you're doing, but I'm not living my dream. I hate my job. Quit! Seriously. If you can't choose to be happy in the vocation that you're doing, find a new one. Oh, but that's dangerous. You know what? No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. You can go out and find work that is going to make you happy. Or choose to be happy in the work that you do. And there are people who go, man, it isn't that easy. It isn't. It's not that easy. It's not a matter of just making a choice to be happy, right? It's not. Okay. I worked at Unicor, people. Unicor. Unicor is a job that pays you, if you're in the money, about 60 cents an hour. I never got that far. So when I was killing it, I was making about 42 cents an hour, right? With time and a half I might have been making 65 cents. And there were weeks where I worked 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. And you know what? I was happy. I was. Did I love the job? No, of course not. I was in a prison industry, right? I was around people that hated everybody and hated one another. But I was in a place that wasn't in a cell. I wasn't looking out through bars. For 10 hours a day, I could pretend I was just a factory worker on the street. You got to look at the best of every situation that you're in and go, you know what? It beats the hell out of that. For those of you who are on my Instagram, I'm claustrophobic, people. I don't like small spaces. So, there are very few fears. I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy alive, but there are very few fears in my life that are debilitating. One, I don't like spiders. You want to see the Girl Scout come out of me? I mean, you watch a spider come in the room and my voice will raise 6 octaves and I will want to get away from it. I'm not a big fan of things that crawl on 8 legs. Just foulness. All right? Hate it. The other is really small places. You could still go back. My Instagram hasn't changed. I haven't done anything with it, but it's still there. Go back and look at it, people, and you can see me crawling through the inside hull of a boat. The smallest, teeniest compartment you could ever see in your life. I mean, I'm talking about a hole that you gotta really contort yourself to get through. And after crawling for about 28 minutes, I got to the far end. There's no light except this little thing on my helmet. And what did I do? I took my phone and I filmed myself down there because it was never gonna get worse than that. I wanted that filmed. I wanted it filmed because that's never gonna get that bad again. But I laughed. Watch it, people. Go look at it. I laughed through that entire process. And as I was in there, I said, you know what? This sucks. This is not fun. I don't like small places. But there are people in the good old US of A who don't have jobs and can't get them. I got a job and it pays. I'm looking at the bright side and I'm going to be happy. Doing what I am most afraid of on this planet, I'm going to be happy. You know why, people? Because I chose to be happy. I promise you, happy is not an effect. It's a choice. If you don't believe that, I have met so many people who have everything on this planet that could make you happy. Rolex watches, Ferraris, the biggest houses you've ever seen, yachts, and they're miserable. They're miserable because they believed that happy was going to be an effect. It was going to be something that if I made enough money, I'd be happy. No, that didn't do it. If I get a trophy wife, right? She's got to look like a supermodel. I'm going to be happy. Jewelry. I love jewelry. Makes me happy. I'm going to get some watches. I'm going to get some chains. Nothing. A Ferrari. A yacht. And they just keep looking for happiness in things, in places, right? In activities, in sex, in drugs, it's a choice, people. It is a choice, right? If you find yourself planted somewhere where you don't want to be, grow there. Grow. Wherever you are, choose to grow. Doesn't matter where you're planted. We always can't control that, right? Sometimes you can. In the free world, there's a lot you can do to control where you're planted. But when I was in prison, I sure couldn't. But I was going to bloom. I promise you I was going to bloom. And do you know why? Yeah, you do. Because the last guy didn't, right? The previous Tommy was not a positive cat. He was not a person who chose happiness. No, I was definitely one of those guys that thought if your wife is young enough, if you make enough money, if you drive a nice enough car, if people think of you in such a way. And I'll tell you something. I used to buy respect. It wasn't real respect. It really wasn't. But there were people who acted like they respected me. And they were wealthy and we went to cool parties. And you know what? My life stunk. It did. Today, people, I am happy where I am in life. And I'll tell you something. Even though the dream is becoming a reality, even though I am living the dream, trust and believe I could be miserable doing it. If I don't choose happiness. Do you know how many days, folks, I get up in the morning and I do my routine. Sun comes up, I come, my bed is made, I'm going down, I'm reading the Bible, I'm drinking my coffee. I go to the inbox and I get 6 emails to tell me that, do you know what so-and-so said about you? Do you know what so-and-so wrote about you? And I'm thinking, boy, the people on the boat just didn't listen to the fact that I don't want to hear this. but I'm reading it. Then I get to the next one, and it's somebody that I care about who said, I know you've been praying for my wife. You don't have to anymore. She's passed away. And some of you know who I'm talking about. The woman died of a brain tumor. This is not a great start to a day. And I got about 4 more emails in a row like that. One that said, I'm done with the boat. At this point in my life, I think I need to go and continue to get high and do what I do. I'm just not ready for this. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if this guy gets behind the wheel of a car, is the person drinking 3/4 of a fifth a day? How did I fail to reach this person? What did I do wrong in the message that this guy is not ready? You know, how did I screw up? Because if he dies behind the wheel now, I'm going to live with this, right? A little bit of pressure standing here and talking to you about stuff that can kill you if you don't decide to jump on board, right? Wow. After a morning like that, it would be really easy to go like this and just start feeling that old feeling again. You know what I mean? So what do you do when those days attack you? Get right back to the basics, people. Start with the basics. What's the basic? Stand up tall. If you allow your breathing to become shallow, you're not going to be happy. Happy and excited are hand in hand, right? Kids on playgrounds. You ever watch them? You ever watch a kid on a playground walk up to another kid? I'm Tommy. You want to be friends? You want to go play? No, man. Kids bound up to one another on the playground. And they don't care if they know the kid they're running up to, right? Da-da-da-da-da. They run up. Hey, I'm Tommy. Let's go play. Want to be friends? We would never do that today, right, people? Because they beat that out of us. They have convinced us that if you're talking too loud, you're embarrassing yourself. If you just walk up and introduce yourself, hey, how you doing? I'm Tommy. That's embarrassing stuff. You don't do that. We're taught, this is embarrassing, this is embarrassing, this is embarrassing. We start believing that stuff, right? Here on the lifeboat, I say quite often, I love you. I say it to people on this boat. If I happen to say it to someone of the same gender, do you know how many times I get emails and messages from people that call me any number of slurs having to do with my sexual preference? You know what? Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. I love the addicted human being. I love people fighting the good fight. And I love people that haven't started fighting the good fight yet, but they need to. I love those people. Do you know why? Because nobody else does. I've been that guy. I've been the guy society hated. Not because I was a bad person, right? Well, I was. But that's not why they hated me. They hated me because I got high. They hated me because I was using a substance that got out of control and I couldn't stop. And for that, I was a junkie, a scumbag, a degenerate, a loser, right? You keep hearing that. You keep hearing that. You keep hearing that. And worse, you see it, right? You look at somebody. They can say to you whatever they want, but you see that look of disdain. You look them in the eyes and you see loser, scumbag, junkie, failure, degenerate, right? How much of that can we take, people, before it starts to beat us down? I'll tell you what, it's easy to stop. Walk up to that same person like this and go, hey, how you doing? Clean and sober. Hadn't heard, huh? I'm clean. Yeah. 6.5 years, people. 6.5 years. No heroin. I'm clean. It's good to see you, by the way, right? Watch what happens. Honestly, do it. The next time you see somebody from your past, go up and the first thing you tell them is, hey, I don't know if you heard, man, I'm clean. They'll go like this. Inevitably, I swear to you, they'll go, a smile will crease their face, even if they don't want to. I promise you. When this video is over, I want you to do a couple of things. I want you to sit down in a chair, and I want you to affect the worst posture that you possibly can. I want you to slouch. I want your shoulders to roll forward. And then I want you to breathe really shallow. And I want you to start to talk about the most exciting thing in your life. The day your baby was born. The day you met your significant other, right? Whatever that most exciting day was. Your scratch-off lottery ticket that hit $5,000. Whatever blew your mind with excitement. But describe it like this. With terrible posture. Not taking deep breaths. Barely enough air to get that voice out, right? Then do the exact same thing, but describe a situation in your life that wasn't great. Describe a situation in your life. Tell you what, how about like this? For me, I would sit down and go, you know, the day that my daughter was born, the doctors had held open the crash doors because my daughter had a defect of the heart. And they had told me that when she came out, she probably wasn't going to be able to breathe on her own. So the elevator doors were held open, and all of these people were in place because they were going to have to save her. And medically, she just was not going to be able to do this stuff on her own. And when she came out, she began to scream and breathe. The relief, people, that I felt when that happened. Does that sound exciting to you? That was, hands down, the most exciting thing that has ever happened to me in my life. When my daughter came out and started to breathe, they told me that couldn't happen. My daughter came out and screamed bloody murder like she was not real happy. But that shrill noise that my daughter made said, I'm breathing. You want to talk about excitement? Okay. I didn't sound very excited telling you about it, and I'll be honest with you. I didn't feel excited. You have to choose excitement. Even if the story motivates you, people, you got to get some air into your lungs in order to do that, right? You have to. I'm driving down the road with my friend Jack. We're in the car. We're going this way. A car pulls the e-brake in the other direction and starts smoking up behind us as fast as it can. He says, boy, they're after somebody. I said, yeah, that somebody's going to be me. They pulled us over on the side of the road, and there were every agency in the world was there. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, local police department, sheriffs, DEA, who knows why. All of these different agencies, right? All there, guns, helicopter, the whole works, right? Get your hands out of the window. People, this was, hands down, the worst day of my life. Doesn't sound like it, does it? Sounds like I'm almost excited that I'm getting pulled over, doesn't it? It's not the story, people. It's how the story is told. Do you understand the point of that? The story of your life is less important than how you tell the story of your life. If you walk through the story of your life and everything that is happening to you is as good as it was when my daughter took that breath, but you walk through like this telling the story, then that's how you're going to live. Your happiness is going to be capped by the amount of happiness that you allow. Now, if you walk through life and things are going bad, but every single second of every single day, you're choosing to be happy. Physiologically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, every single way that you could possibly imagine, your life is going to be better. Think I'm playing? Practice. Try it both ways. Try it. Try it. Watch what shallow breathing does to any story. Watch what breathing deep and projecting out and being just slightly animated does to any story. That's a metaphor, people, for your life. You choose to walk through life like this, or you choose to walk through life like this. You choose happiness, or you choose to not be happy. Think I'm playing? I promise you it's a fact. Today, choose happiness. And if you're fighting the good fight, and you're ahead of the game, you got some sobriety under your belt, choosing happiness ought to be real easy. It really should be. Showing the world you're happy is going to take a little practice. It's a learned skill like any other. I promise you that's a fact. It is a skill. Now, people, if you haven't made a list of who the new you is going to be, then you're just showing up here to be social, I guess. That's fine. Hopefully the drip, drip, drip starts to do something after a while. But if you really want to live your best life, and this just isn't lip service, you can come by just for a feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to live this life I keep talking about, get a damn piece of paper and make a list of who you want to be. Make a list of who the new Linda is going to be. The new Tommy, the new Johnny, the new Karen, the new Lee, the new whatever, right? The new whoever. Make a list of who you were. Make a list of who you're going to be. You say, I don't know. Do what I did. Start. How does your day open? Right? How does it open? What are you comfortable with that you do every single day? How can you change that to get a different result? You've heard the cliche. The definition of insanity is what? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Right? You get up every morning. You grab a light bulb. You throw it on the ground and it shatters. If you do that every day for a week, on day 8, if you get up and grab that light bulb and throw it on the ground, do you know what's going to happen? It's going to shatter. You're an idiot if you believe on day 9, when you throw that down, it's not going to shatter, right? It's always going to shatter. You're doing the same thing to that light bulb. The same thing is going to happen every single time, right? Well, there may be that one light bulb that's just strong enough, Tommy, and it doesn't. The point is, anything we do the exact same way every time will bring you the exact same result. Every time, barring the anomaly, the same thing will happen every single time. So if you want a different result, what do? You pick up the light bulb, set it back down over here. That light bulb is safe. We did a different action, correct? Okay. Your life is the same way. I got up every day and I trudged through life. I did the same thing every day for decades, people. 4.5 of them. Where did it land me? Behind bars. At that point, in the shoe, stab wounds, right? On the stomach. I needed a different plan. I needed to start doing different things if I wanted a different result. However, I didn't say, all right. I said, what is the result you want? Right? When I'm making that new list, what's the result you want? A guy called me and was talking to me about his YouTube channel. You've heard me say this before. He said, I can't get new momentum going behind this channel. And I believe he was on his 3rd year. If I misquote that, it's not much. It was in that ballpark, about 3 years. I said to him, what is it you're trying to do with the channel? And he said, huh? What do you mean? What do I mean? What is the goal of the channel? Is there a goal? And he's like, well, I want it to be successful. No, people. So you want to be famous on YouTube. If that is the goal of your channel, people, you're wasting your time. I promise you. That's not a goal. That is a side effect that will happen because of your goal. It's also a shallow as hell goal or side effect. If what you really want is to be famous, people, you need to reevaluate who you are. No disrespect, really. However, he said to me, and I'm kind of confused. I said, okay, what do you think the goal of my channel is? And he's like, well, you're trying to, help people get sober. I said, yeah, I am. I'm also trying to tell the world that there's nothing wrong with drug addicts solely because they got addicted to drugs. I'm trying to make it so that society looks at people differently than they used to. Capiche? And he's like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Okay. There's a reason that I can quantify my success in the channel because I know what the channel is trying to do. If I came on here and every day I just came to talk to you people, hey, I'm Tommy, this is what happened today. So I went down to the store, I bought a dozen eggs and I bought some milk. It's funny because I wanted the 2%. And I said to the woman, hey, you got any 2% here? Get into this big debate. I could tell you stories like that all day. And maybe people will show up to listen to them. But nothing is happening. There is no end result. That's how a lot of us live our lives. We get up, we do what we're doing. People, does your life have a goal? What is it you want out of life? Well, I don't know, Tommy. Well, then you better pick it, especially if you're my age. I'm 40 in some years-ish. All right, I'm old, right? I'm over 40. I'm over 50. The point is, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Well, for me, it's cut and dry. I have a cut and dry mission for what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want the way the world views us to change. I want people who are out there, who are living in the life, who don't have the support that they need from family and friends to have a new family right here that will support them and have their back. You say, Tommy, that's already happening. Yeah, it is. It's already happening, right? It's becoming a reality. Now you understand why it's important to say, I want to save 6 people. If the goal was just to do what I just said, well, then I'm good, right? I could just set this thing on autopilot and just keep it. Now I can come back and say, so I went to the store today. I bought a dozen eggs. I wanted to get some 2%. You understand what I'm saying? People, my goal will never be met. It will never be achieved because the goal is to save 6 people and then save 6 more and then 6 more. That's never going to stop. Well, Tommy, when do you quit? When I quit breathing. When the time comes that I can't breathe anymore or I can't stand up or sit up enough to be in front of the camera, well, at that point, I'm done. And hopefully by then, there is a whole army of people that came from the crew that are ready to take over. Do you understand the difference between being excited about something and just existing? Do you understand the difference between choosing happiness and just existing? If not, start this video over and watch it again and try to pay attention. Try to focus your mind on what it is we're talking about, because this is a choice. Happiness, excitement, respect. All of these things, people, are a choice. You say, well, that's hard. Well, start with this, people. This is how you're walking through life. Don't think you're going to get any of it. If you dragged this from your last life, if this is what you dragged over from where you were, people, just know this is how you're going to live. This is how people are going to look at you. Stand up straight, right? Good posture. Good posture is not just respect. That's huge. But it's not just respect. We talked about this. ACC, abdomen, right? Chest, clavicular. I'm taking breaths in that are getting air into the top lobes of my lungs. If you're hunched over, those top lobes ain't got squat in so long that the air in there is probably foul. The tidal volume of air in your lungs that doesn't exchange, it just sits in there and gets stagnant. Stagnant, people. Does that sound pleasant to you? Of course not. Stand up straight. Let's get some deep breaths in. Let's get excited about the things we talk about. Is this channel exciting to you, people? Good. You got nothing else to be excited about. Be excited about this. It will seep into the rest of your life. If you get excited about being sober, you can get excited about work. You can get excited about seeing your kids. You can get excited about anything. You don't believe me? Read the comment section. Look at the people who are living this. Read the comments of the people who choose excitement and happiness every day. If I asked you right now, who are they? You'd go, bop, 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 bop. List off about 6 names off the top of your head. Everybody could. You know how I know this? Because I've had this conversation with people. Everybody knows who's excited on this boat. I think the problem is, a lot of you just believe that, well, they're that kind of people. You know what I mean? Like, Chi-Chi is positive as hell, but she was born that way. Chi-Chi chooses that, people. Believe that. She makes that choice 100 times a day. 100 times a day. You know, why do you think that when I started to do a discussion on the live feed about beautiful people, that was the first person that came to my mind? Because she chooses to be beautiful every single day. Debbie Bartram chooses to be beautiful, right? That's something that she chooses every day. Charlie chooses to love every day. Not ashamed as a man to pop into a comment section and say, hey, I love you. Don't forget today to tell someone that you love them. You want to hear a cool story? Charlie had never met Johnny face to face. That's a phenomenon that happens to a lot of us who are YouTubers, right? We meet people and we make relationships with people, but we may never meet them in real life face to face. So just recently, the two of them got to meet. And if you've never heard the brand's voice, right, you don't know what the man looks like. So you got no idea. Of course, they know what Johnny looks like. So Charlie walked up to Johnny and he said to him, hey, Johnny, don't forget to tell somebody today that you love them. One sentence. Johnny said, Charlie, right? The pictures of the two of them hugging each other, the pictures of the two of them with their arms around each other, glowing, right? Glowing. People, happiness is a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice that you can start with the physiology. Don't fake it till you make it. Live as if. You understand the difference, people? You don't fake anything that ends up healthy, but you can live as if. Live as if you're successful. Live as if you're happy. Live as if you love everyone. And watch what'll happen. The physiology will start to worm its way into the rest of your life, and you will actually start to live as if you love everybody. You will start to actually live as if you are respected by everybody, and then people start respecting you, and then people start loving you, and boom, the snowball, right, that can take you in the wrong direction starts taking you in the right direction. Now you stand a little bit taller. You radiate more confidence. The more confidence you radiate, the more respect that comes in. The more respect that comes in, the more you radiate confidence. It's not tough, people, but you got to start by picking who you want to be. You got to start by identifying the characteristics, the traits, and the habits that are taking you away from where you want to be. What characteristics, traits, and habits are in the way of your success, are in the way of you being who you want to be? Identify them, eliminate them, Be the best you can be. People, it was fun to get out of the cabin's quarters. Every once in a while, you gotta get out here. On to the bigger, larger part of the boat in my living room. So people, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, right? This is the lifeboat, and down here, some things are going to pop up if you want to become a part of this. How do you want me to be, people? You want me to go that route? Well, tough, so I'm not doing it. I'm excited about what I'm doing. Down here, click onto that. You can become a part of this. Join us on the boat, people. Become part of this crew. Help us take the message to the world that addicts are people too, and that they matter. Down here, it's going to be a whole bunch of videos. A lot of them I'll be sitting in front of a camera, but I promise you I'm never going to sound upset or depressed or bummed out. If I do, it won't be for very long. I have chosen to be happy. I have chosen to be excited. I've chosen to live the life I want to live. And you've chosen me to be your captain, which is pretty damn cool. That'll keep a guy smiling for a long time. I am Tommy Scoville. I'm the captain of this boat. People, we'll see you on the next video. Between now and then, you have one assignment to do. You know what it is? Yeah. Go save somebody.